Okay, when we want to look at using synthetic division, there's only certain cases in which we can use it. If our divisor can be written in the form x minus c, where c is a real number, then we can use synthetic division. But if we've got x squared here, or if we have 3x here, it's not going to be possible. So it has to be x minus c. If that's the form where c is some number, then we're going to set it up where we put c in this box, and then where these stars are going to be the coefficients of our dividend, which I'm about to show. So let's look at an example. Okay, so it can be written two ways. In either case, our dividend is 4x squared plus 3x minus 3, and our divisor, the thing that we're dividing by, is x minus 2. And so that is definitely our divisor has the form x minus 2. So we can use synthetic division for this, and we're going to set it up with 2 in the box, not negative 2. So it's x minus the numbers in the box. Okay, so if we have x minus 2, then we're going to set it up with a 2 in the box. And then we're going to have the coefficients of our dividend. All right, that's our dividend. Now, the dividend has to be written in decreasing powers of x, and we can't have any missing powers of x. We have to denote that with a 0 if they're not there. But we can see I have 4x squared, so my coefficient's 4, then 3x, then negative 3. Okay, so I'm ready to start. I draw a line. And so 4 times the number in the box is 8, and then we add. 3 and 8 is 11. I've just finished my first cycle. Then 11 times 2 is 22, and then we add. Negative 3 plus 22 is 19. Now I'm finished. I've reached the end. So I like to draw a line here, and this is going to be my remainder. And these are the coefficients for the quotient. Now I'm going to start at the line, and this is my constant, and that's my coefficient for x. And if I keep going, I'd have my coefficient for x squared, x cubed, etc., but I run out there. So now I can write my dividend, 4x squared plus 3x minus 3, as the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. So in this case, the divisor is x minus 2 times the quotient, which is 4x plus 11, and then plus the remainder, plus 19. Okay, now that's one way that I can write it. Okay, another way I can write this is to have this as the fraction. What's that equal to? Well, I'm divide every term by that. And these cancel. So sometimes the answer's like that, and sometimes the answer's as divisor times quotient plus remainder. Right. So either one of those two can be used. Okay. And sometimes you can be asked, what is the quotient? Well, that's the quotient. And what is the remainder? The remainder is 19. Okay. Now, also a nice thing about synthetic division, suppose our dividend is a function. So suppose f of x is this function in the numerator. then f evaluated at the number in the box is equal to the remainder. And if you've already done synthetic division, f evaluated at 2 is equal to 19. And you could actually go back through that and plug 2 into this, and you would get positive 19. And we will see that what we do with this later on. Basically, this is telling me that the number in the box, 2, is not a 0. Because remember, what's the definition of a 0? A 0 is some number C such that when you evaluate the function at C, it equals 0. Okay. But this video is about synthetic division, so let's carry on. Now you might say, wait a minute here, you can't do synthetic division. You said it had to be in the form of x minus a number. Well, we just have to do some rewriting. X plus 1 is the same thing as x minus negative 1. So I'm going to need to rewrite that. If it can be written in the form of x minus a number, then we can do synthetic division with it. Okay. So now I can use synthetic division. It's x minus the number in the box. So the number in the box is negative 1. And what goes here? The coefficients of the dividend. So 7 times the number in the box. Then we add. Negative 10 times the number in the box. And then we add. Now I'm done. That's my remainder. And those are the coefficient of my quotient. Starting here, that's my constant, and that's my coefficient for x. So my dividend is equal to the divisor, x minus negative 1, which is x plus 1, times the quotient, plus the remainder. Okay. If I let f of x be equal to that, then what is f evaluated at negative 1? It's equal to whatever the remainder is. Okay. And I could check that by plugging x equals negative 1 into that, but I already have the answer to that there. Okay. What about this one? It's x minus 1, so x minus the number in the box. Now we have to be careful here because we have some missing powers. I don't have x in here. And so x, the coefficient for x is 0. So I have 1 times x cubed, 3 times x squared, 0 times x, and then minus 4. And we have to have that 0 placement in there. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we add. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we add. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we add. So this is my remainder. My remainder is 0. So if I let f of x be my dividend, then f evaluated at the number in the box is going to be the remainder. And it turns out that means 1 is a 0 of f. Okay. But now, what is the quotient? Well, I can write this as the divisor times the quotient. So this is my constant, my coefficient for x, and my coefficient for x squared. plus the remainder, but plus 0. But we don't write plus 0, and so we're just going to have it written as that. Okay. And finally, what about this? Well, I can set this up with synthetic division, but I do not put a 2 in there because I can write this as x minus negative 2. So a negative 2 goes here, x minus the number in the box. Now here, I don't put 1 and then negative 16. No, because I'm missing my x cubed term. I'm missing an x squared term. I'm missing an x term. So their coefficients are all 0. And now I can get this started. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, and then we add. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, and then we add. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, and then we add. And negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16, and then we add, and we get 0. So this is my quotient, the coefficients of my quotient. So this is going to be my constant, my coefficient for x, my coefficient for x squared, and my coefficient for x cubed. If f of x is equal to x to the 4th minus 16, then f evaluated at the number inside the box is equal to the remainder. So negative 2 is a 0 by definition. Okay. Now I can factor this. X to the 4th minus 16 is equal to the divisor, what we divided by, x minus negative 2, which is the same as x plus 2, times the quotient, which is going to be 1 times x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4x minus 8, and then plus the remainder, which is plus 0, but I'm not going to write plus 0. Okay. All right. And so that should be enough examples for you to do your exercises with.